Hello everyone, how are you all?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, am I audible to you all? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Just give me a- Okay, so how are you all? How's everything going on?
I'm good.
Yeah, that's great. What about others? So I hope you all have joined using your laptop or computer, right? Say yes or no.
Yes,
What about others? Shivam, Ruchi, Keshav, Soumya, Tarun?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you joined using your laptop?
I joined by my mobile.
Okay, why you have not joined using your laptop? Because we are going to learn coding, right?
Yes, ma'am. I have laptop by my side.
Okay. All right, shall we begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen. Let me know once my screen is visible to you all. Yeah, is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, in these 30 sessions, we are going to cover Python and MySQL. So these are the topics that we are going to cover from Python, and these are the topics that we are going to cover from MySQL. So for Python, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, and for MySQL, we will be using MySQL Workbench. How many of you have downloaded Python and how many of you have downloaded MySQL as of now? Yes, how many of you have downloaded it? You can drop a message also in chat. So just let me know if you have downloaded Python or MySQL Workbench on your system or not. Yes, Ojas? Okay, most of you have downloaded. Noni, you haven't downloaded. Okay. So now for these sessions, you need two platforms. One is Python, another one MySQL. So first we are going to start with Python. So I would recommend you to download Python. Okay. I'm going to tell you the steps that you need to follow to download Python. I'm not going to tell you each and everything in depth, but I'm just going to give you an overview how you exactly have to do it.
Ma'am, Google Colab is okay.
Yeah, that also works. So you simply have to go
So
to,
Google.
yeah, go ahead.
So we will be covering a basic over here or in-depth syllabus we will cover.
As I have shown you some topics, those topics we will be
Yes.
covering in these sessions.
Okay. So it will be basic, right? Like we can start doing queries later on.
Yeah, first you understand the concept. Once you have understood the concepts, then you can practice the problem statements and all. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
So for those who have not downloaded, you just have to go onto the Google and you have to say Python download, and then there will be one first website, which is www.python.org. From this website, you have to download the Python latest version. This is the official website of Python, so I would recommend you to use this. If suppose you are like your system is not compatible or you're not able to get Python on your system, then you can simply go on Google and type Google Colab. This collab.research.google.com. This is a Google collaboratory. Basically, here also on online version, you can say, of Python, where you just have to create a new notebook and you can start working. So you use this new notebook button, and then you can simply create one notebook or create one interface, and then you can start your coding online itself. But this needs the access of your internet, like you cannot work offline. Okay, so here you can write your codes, you can keep on adding the code cells, you can use the text as well. So, however you are comfortable, you can continue. Better version is go with this Python download one. First, download this, and once you have downloaded Python, then you can download any one of the interface, which is IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So you can simply go and download Visual Studio Code. And this website will help you download Visual Studio Code according to your system specification. If you're using Mac, you can go with Mac. If you're using Windows, you can go with the Windows. And accordingly, you can download it. All right. Any question, anyone?
Ma'am,
Although,
can you repeat the Python installation part?
yeah, you simply have to use this website, which is python.org.download one. This website, you have to download Python. Once you have completely downloaded Python, then you have to download Visual Studio Code for a better interface, basically. Okay, so you can download it if you're using Windows, use this button to download Visual Studio Code on your system. I have added both the links in the chat. You can copy it for the reference.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Also, for those who requested for a group, like we can discuss or something. So I've created one Discord group. You can join that group if you wanted to have a discussion with your peers then. Okay. That link also I have added in the chat. Okay, so now let's begin with the Visual Studio Code and let's start with the coding. So those who are going to use Visual Studio Code, what you simply have to do is you have to create one folder on the desktop, and then you have to access that same folder on your Visual Studio Code, and this is how it should look like. Like I have created 30 days folder on my desktop, and I have opened the same folder in Visual Studio Code. How to open a folder? You click on this file icon, then go to open folder, then you have to select the folder that you wanted to open. So I have to open 30 days. So you click on the select folder, and then the folder will be selected for you. Now let's talk about Python programming language. So Python programming language is a simple language, or you can say it's easy to learn language, but using Python, you can create a number of things. Everything these days are based on Python. Like if you wanted to create AI agents, if you wanted to create tools, if you wanted to go into the machine learning, you wanted to go for data science, all these roles need Python knowledge. Okay. So Python is a high level language. When I say high level language means that language which we humans can easily understand. Okay. There are different types of languages like C programming. You might have heard about C++. So those languages are machine friendly languages. It means you have to use the syntax, like you have to every time you have to write single line of code, you have to terminate it with some colon, semicolon or something. So you have to be strict to the extra syntax, you can say, or extra special characters also. But in Python, this is not you have to do. You have to simply write your codes, and it is not necessary that you have to terminate each and every command. So Python is high level language. Python is interpreted language. It's a general purpose language. You can create multiple things. If you wanted to go with the GUI, right, graphical user interface, that too you can do with Python. So Python has a good readability, it has simplicity, and you can produce so many things using Python. You can use Python even for website development. If you wanted to learn website development, then you can go with the libraries of Python like Django. You can go with the Flask, and many more libraries are there for website development. It depends which level of development you wanted to create. So Python has so many libraries, and everything is based on libraries. Just like you guys are aiming for data analysis, then it means you have to learn the libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotleaf, and these libraries will help you have a good knowledge or a good understanding of how exactly you have to deal with the data and how exactly you have to do the data analysis. But if you wanted to go for the machine learning or you wanted to go for the computer vision, then there are different libraries like TensorFlow or OpenCV respectively. So you have to also search for the libraries whenever you are writing your codes in Python to make your task easy. Okay. Another feature of Python, if I say, is like if you have written any code in Windows, then you can run the same code on any different environment as well, different operating system as well. So it means you have to just write once and you can run anywhere. Like suppose you are changing from one operating system to another operating system, that too you can do. Any question up till now?
No, ma'am.
So,
Is this making sense to you all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So very basic thing you should every time, like you should know about what exactly you are learning and why you are learning. Okay, so from today itself, you should have a clear understanding that you want to go for the website development using Python, or you want to create something like AI tools in Python, or you want to create some models to predict something. So your goal should be clear so that you don't have to learn some extra stuff. You have to learn only the things which is required for your role. Okay. Now, simply what you have to do is you have to use your interface and you have to create a new file. So this is the icon to create new file. So you tap on that and you create new file. So if I'm creating day1.ipynb, or you can use .py. There are two extensions in Python. One is .py, another one is IPYNB. When I say .py, it means this is going to create this is going to create one up page, a kind of a notepad, right? Where whenever you will enter, it will keep on adding lines for you. This is just like the notepad, and here you have to write down your codes. And once you are done writing your codes, you have to execute it using this triangle. So this triangle will help you run the entire code in one go. Everything which you are going to write will be executed with this one triangle, and the output will be in the terminal. Now, second type of file is that IPYNB file. IPYNB file is well structured file, and though that particular notebook is used by used in like data science, data analyst, machine learning roles. If you are going for the developer role, you will find most of your files with the .py extension, not with IPYNB. But as you are aiming for data analysis and data science, then you have to use Day-1.ipynb. It means Python notebook. When I say notebook, it means in notebook you can write your codes and you can write your notes at the same time. So if you have like created a notebook, this is how your notebook will look like. You will have code cells, you will have markdown cells. When you have code cells and markdown cells, it becomes easy for you to write your code separately and your markdown cells. Suppose you have written 2 lines of code in this code cell, then you can simply use this triangle to run only those 2 lines. You need not to run entirely like everything. Suppose if you have written 17 lines, then in .py file, you have to run everything. But in Notebook, we have a flexibility that we can run the specific code cell. Any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now there comes a role of a kernel. Only kernel is going to help you work on it. Okay. So this is my Python kernel. So Python 3.12 means this is Python 3.12 version which I'm using on my system. If you're using any different server, then this will come up differently. Like the numbers will be different. So if you will click on this and you can select the another kernel as well according to your need, you can switch from the like versions also. If you have 2 to 3 versions on your system, you can do that too. Sometimes like this is not automatically selected by your Visual Studio Code, so you will have to do it manually as well sometimes. So this is how you need to do it. Now to test your Python server or your Python kernel, you have to write down some commands. So simply, you can write the print statement to print hello. This is the first code which every programmer have to write, and this is how the coding journey begins. So you will write print bracket begins, and whatever message you wanted to print, you can. So if I have written print hello, then if you wanted to run it, use this triangle and this will run, like this will execute. It will connect to the kernel, this one, and it will then execute the code that you have requested it to run. And in the output, you are getting hello. So what it means is like you have written print. Print is the inbuilt function in Python. Whenever I say Python function, then obviously these brackets will come up. Make a note that whenever I say function, then brackets are necessary. Within brackets, whatever you are going to pass will be printed in the output. So just like I have written hello, therefore I'm getting in the output also hello. If suppose instead of a hello, I wanted to print some numbers, I can write that number. And if I can, like if I'm going to execute it, I will get that number printed on the screen. So when you are trying to print numbers, go with the numbers like this. If when you are trying to write down the text like hello or 852, then if you're writing the message, then you have to use these quotations. You can use double quotes or you can use single quotes. When you are writing numbers, then quotations are not required. These quotes are only required when you are writing a text or a message. Any question in this?
No, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am, can we use single quote also in hello?
Yes. Yes, you can.
So there is a difference between double quote and single quote.
No difference. This is going to give you the same results. Okay, you can use double
Okay.
quotes or single quotes. It depends totally upon you, like what you wanted to write or how you wanted to write, but both are acceptable and you will get the same results with the both. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any other question? So this is how you use the print statement, and this is how you have to test your kernel as well, that whether you have successfully downloaded your kernel or not. If you have successfully downloaded, you will be able to run this and you will get the output. Otherwise, you won't get the output. Now, the next concept, which is the very basic concept, is the concept of variables. So just like I have written directly print hello. So this was a message and I directly passed it in the print function. Let's say I wanted to store these two values in computer's memory for working on, maybe some calculation I can do, or I can print both of the things using single print statement. There's so many things that we can do after storing that particular value in computer's memory. So hello and 852 we can easily store if you know the concept of variables. So variables means a kind of a container that you are going to use to store your values. Variables are just like the normal container that we have around us. So variables can be created according to you, like whatever name you wanted to give it. For example, if I gave you from surroundings, then it means if I wanted to store some chocolates, I need a box. If I wanted to put salt, I want a jar. And if I wanted to store water, then I need a bottle. So these are the name of the container. Different thing that I'm trying to store, I have to store it in uh, different object which has different names. Same way in programming also. So if I'm trying to store this 852, which I believe, let's say this is grade. So I can simply say grade is equal to 852. And I can run this. Grade is equal to 852. Simply I have written I have given it a name and I have assigned a value to it. And for this, I'm using an equal to operator in between. So that's how you can store it. So suppose if I'm writing message is equal to hello. So when I'm writing message is equal to hello, it means hello is the message that I'm trying to store in the message variable. So that is what variables are. Any question? Now there are some conditions for defining your variables, like how there are some certain rules you can say in Python. You have to follow those rules. So first rule is that you cannot start your variable name with a number. So you cannot write like fifth message. No, this is going to be the wrong. This is going to be wrong because you have written numbers in the beginning. Numbers in the beginning are not allowed. You have to use you have to use alphabetical character only, like A, B, C, D only you can use in the beginning. Second rule is that you cannot use any extra special character. You can use the single special character, that is underscore. Underscore is allowed, but apart from underscore, you cannot write anything. If you want to write at the date, hash, dollar, percentage, anything like these are not allowed. You have to stick to the alphabetical characters, and you can, apart from alphabetical characters, you can use underscore. Only these two things are allowed. You can start your variable name with the alphabetical character or underscore even. If you wanted to start it like underscore message, that is also valid. But you cannot start it with the number. Next condition is that you have to avoid using the reserved word from Python. So there are certain words which are reserved, like print. Print is the name given to a function to display something. So you cannot write like print is equal to hello. No, that is going to be the wrong. You will get some error. Okay, if you're going to write print is equal to hello, this is going to be wrong because print is already a function in Python which is for displaying something in the output. Any question?
No, ma'am.
So you have to follow these rules for defining the variables. Next thing to note in Python is a case sensitive language. It means whatever you have written in the uppercase will remain in the uppercase and will remain unique. And if you're writing something in the lowercase, then that will remain in the lowercase, and that too will behave uniquely. Like it will have different importance. Like they will be treated separately. So if you have written name like this and you have written name in all caps, and if you are writing like these two will be the different variables. If I'm going to say So name is one variable and this name is the second variable. We are pronouncing it same because spellings are same, but we in Python is a case sensitive language. So they will be treated separately. If you are making changes in with the variable this, like if you are using this variable to make any changes, then this value will be updated, not this one. So you have to make sure you are writing your correct variable. Now, when you wanted to print something from the variable directly, then you need not to use the quotation, no matters it is text or numbers. So what I mean is like you're writing print, then you simply have to write down the name of the variable. So whenever you have declared a variable, it behaves like a container. It doesn't, you don't have to treat it as a string or the text. Okay. Any question in this?
No, ma'am.
Another concept is of commenting because commenting is also important. First thing in commenting is whenever you wanted to write your notes, and commenting is important because suppose you have written your code today, which is today is like 12th of December, and you are going to view that code file in June 2025. So at that time, you won't be aware like what you have written at that time. You won't remember everything, right? If you have added your comments in that file, then it will make sense to you that, okay, at that time I was trying to print hello. Okay, I was trying to print 852. So you have to every time use the commenting. Suppose you are sharing your code file with me. So to make that code understandable, you have to add your commenting that what exactly you have tried to do. Okay, so there are two ways to do commenting. If you're going with a single line commenting, you have to use hash. If you have something to write in a paragraph or more than one line, then you have to use triple quotes and then you have to write it. Triple quotes and then you can write it. Whatever you wanted to write in the number of lines, you can mention it. Hash is used when you wanted to go with a single line. When you have something to write in the single line. Suppose you have written single line, like there are two words. If I'm going to take my cursor on the line and I'm going to press enter, automatically hash will be added because this is single line commenting. And whenever you're going to do this, it will keep on adding the hash for you. When you're using triple quotes, it means again, you can use single triple quotes also and double triple quotes also. Both are valid. So if you are using double quotes three times, then you can mention whatever you wanted to write. Suppose I'm writing Python, commenting, variables, learning. Anything that you are trying to write will be ignored by the kernel. So your Python kernel is going to ignore these lines, whichever you have added within triple quotes or whichever you have written after hash. So whatever you are trying to write after hash or within the triple quote, that particular line or that particular sentence will be ignored by the kernel. This is how you have to do commenting in .py file. But in .ipynb file, obviously you can use the same methods over here as well, like you wanted to write commenting. Then yes, you can do this, but there is an additional thing that is you can use this markdown cell. So will this markdown cell will help you write your codes in simple, like this will be totally different like your keynotes. So here, if you are going to write and you are going to run this, you need not to add a hash, triple quote or anything. It is obvious. It is like already a markdown cell. Markdown means you are trying to just write a message. That's it. Even you can add something like if you wanted to make this Python as a title. So you can add a hash and now your text will be will act as a heading, like normally in the Word file that we have headings. This is how it. If you wanted to decrease the size, keep on increasing the hash, the size will keep on decreasing. So this is how you have to use your markdown cells and this is how you have to use your commenting. Any question up till now?
No, ma'am.
No questions? So for today, what you have to do is you have to set up your Python on your system. Second thing is if you don't want it to download Python, you have to set up your Google Colab one. Like your collab should be working. You have successfully created one file and you try to test your kernel but just writing the same code. Like normally print code, you just try to write and try to test whether your Google Colab is working fine for you or not. Second thing is you have to practice this variable print statement and trying to assign the values, trying different things and trying to come up with the errors that you're going to encounter if you will write numbers in the beginning and all. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, we will be learning here how to use logic, means how to apply logic.
Yeah. Along with the concept, while teaching the concept, I will let you know.
Okay.
Okay. So from where you have filled that Google form, there itself, I have added all these topics which we will be covering day by day. Okay. Now, anyone, any other question? No questions? For further discussion and all, you join that Discord server. Okay. And you can drop the messages there itself. All right. Then we'll connect tomorrow at the same time. No one is saying anything?
Um, are we getting
Okay.
the recording also?
I will see how to, manage these recordings and all. And then I will update you on the Discord server itself. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, guys. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.